This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
The Hilton sale is on. Now through September 29th, you can save up to 20% on stays this fall and beyond. Long weekends, last-minute getaways, holiday gatherings. There's a Hilton stay for all of them. More moments, more experiences, more destinations. Now 20% off for a limited time because it matters where you stay. Don't wait. Book by September 29th and save up to 20% at Hilton.com. Terms apply. Hilton for the stay.
Disney's Lilo & Stitch has finally landed on Disney+. Now you can watch the global phenomenon at home with your Ohana.
Be good for 1 second.
Lilo & Stitch is verified hot on Rotten Tomatoes with an audience score of 93%.
Perfect.
Stitch is also cute and fluffy.
Disney's Lilo & Stitch, rated PG, now streaming on Disney+. And right now, you can get Disney+, Hulu, and all of ESPN with an incredible limited-time offer. Terms apply.
Hello, Nigel here. I couldn't help noticing that you're still awake. Now, I'm an owl. I'm supposed to be up at night. But you need your sleep. So if it's your allergy symptoms that are keeping you up, here's a word to the wise. Try Xyzal. You see, Xyzal works fast to relieve sneezing, runny nose, itchy watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat. And it keeps going strong for 24 hours, so you can get your sleep and wake up refreshed and ready for a productive day ahead. Be wise, all. Take Xyzal at night. Use as directed. Starts working in 45 minutes.
But let's flip it over to the defensive side of the ball now. And let's talk about our top 3 points from the defense. And I'll roll my first one here. And shout out to Eric for compiling this. I'm just going to let this play in the background as I talk about Quinyon Mitchell. I thought Quinyon Mitchell was awesome in this game. The Eagles, I don't love their approach with Quinyon Mitchell, maybe. So this game, they really just had him follow around Davante Adams. Week 1, they had him really follow around George Pickens. Now, I'll ask you, Johnny, who is the Cowboys' number 1 receiver? It's got to be CeeDee Lamb, right?
Yes.
And who's the Rams' number 1 receiver?
Davante Adams, in my opinion.
And so it's I would say it's Puka Nacua.
I think from a pure receiving standpoint, it's Davante.
Yeah, so maybe. But I would argue they're having Quinyon follow the number 2 receiver in some of these teams that have a really good duo, which is fine if you're doing more to like push coverage the other way to help out Adoree Jackson, Jacorian Bennett. They're not really doing that. I'm going to get into that in a later point, so I'm just going to focus on Quinyon here. But Quinyon Mitchell, I thought, was awesome in this game. Per Next Gen Stats, he was on Davante Adams on 22 routes, and he was targeted 5 times and only gave up 2 catches for 12 yards. Now, there was a big touchdown to Adams. It was a 44-yard touchdown when Reed Blankenship was on him, and we have debated this play extensively in the Discord because theoretically, Quinyon Mitchell is in a quarters technique and could have helped deep there, and he doesn't, and we've kind of talked about why, and maybe he's sitting on that corner route, and so you could argue that one wasn't the best rep, perhaps. But outside of that, I thought he was awesome in this game, and this isn't just me being a Q apologist, because I said I thought he struggled the first week or two. I didn't think he played as great as people wanted to say he did. I thought he was awesome in this game. I thought he was probably the best player on the defense for the Eagles in this one. Maybe Zach Bond, but probably Quinyon Mitchell. And so naturally, he got a 52.8 coverage grade from PFF, which is why I don't put a lot of stock in those. That's the same people, by the way, that had Matt Pryor as the 3rd highest graded offensive player for the Eagles, a guy who was so good that after 4 straight 3-and-outs and then a sack fumble, he got benched and the offense took off. But I digress. So I think it was Yako said he thought I was going to throw that in earlier when I asked who the best offensive lineman was. I was saving it for here, but I just thought it was a really good game by Quinyon Mitchell. And I thought he had not been as good as he was last year in the first couple of weeks. So I wanted to shout him out and just say I thought he did a really good job on Davante Adams.
Yeah, I think sometimes like power comes great responsibility or whatever the phrase is. I think Q stepped up. I think he was given a really tough assignment. I think Davante got him a few times, as he will get everyone. I think both the Eagles corners did a reasonable job. My take on the big touchdown, deep touchdown, whatever you want to call it, is I would like him just almost go a bit off script there, because he ends up covering nobody, and maybe that's really harsh on him because he's told not to. But I'm happy to leave the flat, and I don't want to see Davante Adams one-on-one with Reed Blankenship ever before, or ever again, should let's say. And funny enough, they did the exact same thing, the Rams, later on, because McVay is smart, and this time Blankenship broke it up. Right, I've got a few things I want to talk about, and should we get the elephant in the room out of the way, just so I can piss off everyone listening at home, and get the Twitter mentions mad? Jalen Carter is not Jalen Carter. I'm not saying he's bad. He's not bad. He had a really good pass rush early on in the game. He had an amazing run stop on 4th and 1, along with Jordan Davis, that I'll show later on, actually, as part of a different point. But he is not in shape to play football. I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming his character. There could be lots of reasons behind the scenes we don't know. I don't think it's because of missing week 1. I think it's a general conditioning point. Maybe it's Vic Fangio spoke about like the fact training's not as intense tackling wise as it was. Jordan Davis has spoke about it. Sirianni spoke about it. So I'm not just calling a guy big for the sake of calling a guy big. He is not right. There's a few I could show. And do you know what, Shane? In the interest of time, I'm going to combine 2 points. So I'm going to focus on Carter, but one of my other points is run D, because I realise that a lot of the plays I'm going to show of Carter, I'm going to end up repeating when they run defence. I'll do 2 points in one. I'll focus on run defence, and I'll tie in my points on Jalen Carter as well. So let's look at play 2, first of all. This is where the Eagles just got beat up. Like, we don't see this team get beaten up in the trenches very often under Howie Roseman. But they get beat up a bit. Jalen Carter is moved, as he was consistently. Jordan Davis was by far the best Eagles run defender, and it wasn't close. Like, Carter's not moved a little bit. Look at where he starts, and look at where he finishes. And this is early on in the game. Like, that's a 300-pound man who is being shoved at speed. 69 is moving him. And like, that is unusual. He ends up off screen. Yeah, that doesn't happen. You also see a problem with the run defense here, which was rookie Jahar Campbell, who we spoke about when we did his scouting review. He does not trust his instincts yet, and he's really hesitant. So that gap is there for the taking. And what you could also do is you can get 67 to come off Jordan Davis earlier. And this is where it's a domino effect. Because he doesn't, 67 basically just carries Jordan Davis all the way, but that was sweet. And it's not a huge run, but it was a sign of things to come. The other issue they had with the run game was setting the edge, and this is play 3. And
by the way, I'm glad you mentioned Campbell, because
he was rough against the run. He was really
my
rough
player spotlight week 1. I pointed out some things, and I saw him a lot of times. And I said in the Discord that I think Nakobe Dean being out is a big part of the run D issues. And it's not that I don't think Jahad Campbell's good. I think he's played unbelievably, but he is a bit of a negative in the run game at the moment. And
his coverage is very good. His coverage
I
is very
fully
good.
anticipate that getting better, but he has been a little slow to trigger so far.
Yeah, I agree. And then play 3, the other issue that the Eagles had was with setting the edge in this game. Now, I think everyone wanted to go mad at Cooper DeJean and the Eagles' edge defenders. I will just add a bit of context, and I will say the other team gets to play offense, and sometimes they do things really well. Mark asked a question earlier on. Why do we run condensed formations? This is how you run condensed formations, Mark, if you're still watching live. Watch Puka Nacua here totally seal the edge, right? Why does it not work for the Eagles? The Eagles don't have Puka Nacua. There are not any receivers on the Eagles offense, except Johnny Wilson, because he's basically a tight end. And even he doesn't block this well, who can set the edge like this. They don't have one. So if you're looking, condensed equals good. Like all things in NFL, all comes down to your own personnel. There's no point in the Eagles doing this because they cannot seal the edge like this. And yes, it's easy to criticise the Eagles and players like Cooper DeJean for screwing up on this play, but you've also got to recognise that the other team gets to do their offense as well. And they're really good at this. The Rams are really, really good at this stuff.
It's so hard, too, because they talked about it on the broadcast, but what they love to do with Puka Nacua, so you use condensed to attack outside in the run game and to throw to the middle of the field. The other thing they love to do is release Puka Nacua through the C gap to run crossers. And so if you're Cooper DeJean and you're thinking, this is a run play, I got to jump outside. Well, if it's a play action, you're beat by like 6 yards. And so it's so hard. I mean, Sean McVay's offense is just designed so well.
Yeah.
And Puka Nacua is the perfect guy to make it work.
And I'll talk about that actually in my final point.
Now,
again, I wanted to combine Carter with the run D as well. I mean, look at play 8. You don't have to be a film guru here, Shane. And I think you said some people criticized you for saying he's trying to slant. All right, whatever he's trying to do. Yes, you can slant against the run. You cannot take yourself out of the play like this. This is lazy. This is, I'm trying to make a play so I haven't got to hold up a gap. Like, call it what you want, but there is literally no way he's making a tackle unless he's shoved into a guy. And that was another example of it's hard to play when your defensive linemen are caught out like that. This is also another example of, when Zach Bourne is wide open in the hole and misses a tackle. When did we see that the past year? The run defense was a number of things. For people saying, like, what was the issue? The Rams are really good. They couldn't set the edge at times. The Rams have a really diverse, creative run game. They fake a lot of receiver reverses. They run some receiver reverses. The Rams won up front. The Eagles didn't win up front. Watching the Rams' offensive line interior compared to the Eagles' offensive line interior was night and day. It was a really, really big difference. However, I do just have to end with one final positive against the run. Play 12. This is Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis at their best. This is a fantastic run stop. This is 4th and 1. Why teams keep running at the Eagles 6-man front on 4th and 1, I do not know, but please keep doing it because when the Eagles line up with 6, they basically seem to always win. This is what Carter and Davis can do. Davis was really good in this game, and I'm not saying Jalen Carter's bad. Jalen Carter is still Jalen Carter. He's just not good on a snap-by-snap basis because he's not fit. He almost has to save himself for the big moments like this. He's still an ultra-talented defensive lineman. He's just not fit yet. So, in summary, the Eagles had lots of problems with run defense. It wasn't one thing. It wasn't one player. But overall, they got beat up a little bit. And that doesn't often happen to this defense.
Yeah. Hey, can I want to push back on your coaches are smart people narrative. Let me just ask you. It's 4th and 1, Johnny. You have a backup right guard in the game.
Yep.
You've got Jordan Davis lined up over him with Jalen Carter to the right of him. If you want to run the ball, would you rather run it over here or maybe run it to the left, away from the 2 best run defenders and the backup right guard?
McVay I think he's the best designer of offense in the NFL, but game management and game situation calls, he's really poor. If he could get someone to just do that side of things, they would be unbelievable because his overall design is top.
Would you rather run at Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis behind a backup right guard or run at Zadarius Smith and Jalix Hunt behind your starters?
Yeah,
it's a tough call.
It
could go either way.
Mad.
So, all right. Well, maybe I'm just going to tie my 2 points together because they actually kind of go together, and then I'll let you finish this out. So, first of all, I want to talk about cover 1 blitzing. The Eagles ran cover 1 a lot in this game, and they blitzed a lot in this game. And here's the thing. When you look at this pre-snap, this pretty clearly reads cover 1 blitz. I think I said cover 0. I meant cover 1. This is pretty clear. We're going to send 5. I mean, maybe we're bailing somebody off of the line. I just don't line up with 5 guys, send 5 guys. I just think it's too easy. Eric's done the studies on rushing 5, and I'm not anti-rushing 5, but I think you need to do it in a way that's disguised, where you're rushing a linebacker and dropping out the opposite edge to try to overload something. This is just, we know, Stafford knows, this is probably a cover 1 blitz. It's obvious. We're just going to pick the matchup we like, and we're going to throw it. And by the way, he picks the wrong guy. This drag is where he should be going, in my opinion. That's an easy throw, but I digress. We talked about Stafford reading some things out wrong, I thought. That's just too easy. They hear they're going to cover one blitz again, and it's not obvious this time because they've got the linebackers back, and then they send them. But I still don't really like it. It's not timed up well. Your linebackers are running into each other, and it's still just leaving guys on an island. I just don't love it. Here's another cover one blitz. Again, it's obvious, and you've got a backup cornerback on the field, and that's who they want to attack. And I know it ends up incomplete, but that's on Stafford because he ends up being wide open. And so I thought the Eagles cover one blitzed a lot in this game, and I just don't understand why. Because cover one blitzing it doesn't mean you're going to get a free runner. It means that you're making everybody on the offensive line win a one-on-one block, but you're putting one less guy in coverage so they don't have to win it as long, and it just seems like they don't work very well. And I know there's numbers to bear that out. Maybe they're doing it just to try to get pressure. Just don't do it from such obvious looks. And that kind of ties in with my other point that I just said I'll combine, which was the end of game. The last drive, and I complained about this with Fangio back to last year, and I love Fangio. I think he's one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. I absolutely don't trust him in end-of-game situations because we talked about last year, he would just emotionally blitz. Okay, so you get to the last drive. Adoree Jackson is out. Jacorian Bennett is in. It becomes very, very clear that they're just going to throw the ball at Jacorian Bennett. The Eagles just continued to leave Jacorian Bennett one-on-one with Puka Nacua. A lot of times cover one blitzing. They had a cover three look where it's a deep route, so it's essentially still him being one-on-one. And I just don't... Why? In that situation, if it's clear that's what the Rams are going to do, I'm all... we've talked about, you keep Cooper DeJean in the slot because he's so important in the run game. Guess what you're not going to do trying to drive down and get in field goal range with a minute left? You're not going to run the ball much. And Cooper DeJean plays outside in base. Flip him, just put him on Puka Nacua. If you want to play cover one, put him on Puka Nacua. And then you've got your two best corners on their two best wide receivers, and let's see who wins. But I thought that Vic made it way too easy to isolate Puka Nacua on Jacorian Bennett on that last drive. And let's be honest, if the Eagles don't block that field goal, I'm probably talking about how Vic Fangio's play calls were the deciding factor in this game. And so I love Vic. I just did not trust him in some late game situations last year. And I thought that reared its head again in this game. I just don't understand why that's the approach. And I would like to see them handle those end of game situations differently. Now it worked. You won. I don't know if you want to be relying on blocking field goals to win games, although apparently the Eagles have figured that out. And so maybe they'll just block all field goals from now on. But the end of game Vic makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think he has this it's now or never mindset, almost like do or die, which in some ways I respect because it's not how he calls most of his game. I think let's be real as well. I put this on the Discord, and I don't think either were penalties, but I think on another day, Jacorian Bennett gets flagged. Not even because they were penalties at the end of the game, but the Kura stumbled out of his break on one of them, and I think another ref could see that and go, oh yeah, he's tripped him. I think it was accidental contact, but he was also beat quite badly. If the Kua doesn't trip, then that's game over. But on the final play, I've actually got the final play, Shane. If you refresh it, play 13. This is how good the podcast is. I tweeted it this quickly, so I can mention it now, because that's how little time I've had. This one, he actually is in good position and he doesn't strike the Kua before the ball comes. But we see a lot of flags if you don't get your head around, and I think if you pause it before the ball comes, I think you could make an argument that he's touching the Kua just before it comes. And it's a bang bang play. It's tough, but often you don't get the benefit of the doubt if you don't turn around. And look at the position he's in. He doesn't turn in the slightest. And I agree with you. I think it was too easy to pick on Bennett.
What is Reed Blankenship doing here?
Push him out further. There's no point being
he's
there,
looking at the tight end, but the second this tight end breaks, how is he not getting depth for this go ball?
Yeah.
And he runs straight at it, and then he dives. He's got no chance to get there. I
quite like the dive.
At least stay on your feet, so if he catches it, you can help with the tackle, because Bennett's not a good tackler. I don't know. I just, that would be the point of emphasis to me. If I'm Vic, I'm saying, hey, we want to help Bennett. We want to help him over the top. And so as soon as you see, you're responsible for this tight end vertical. If he doesn't go vertical, get depth and get over the top of this throw. I don't know. I just don't love those end of game moments.
I think if you look at Bennett's reaction, he's staring at the ref as well. Like, I think he knows it's tough. Right, we're actually going to do it, Shane. We're going to do it.
Don't look at the ref in that situation. That's like
Jalen Mills.
That's like
finger,
man. I coach Little League baseball, and you'll get the guy that like takes the pitch on the full count, and he turns back and looks at the umpire. I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah,
just if you take the pitch, drop the bat and start running to first. Make him call you back and say you're out. But if you take the pitch, that was a ball. That wasn't even close. Don't look at the umpire.
We're going to do it in an hour. We're actually going to do it, which is good because we've got so many things on Patreon, and I've got too many things to write tonight, so we have smashed it. I'm going to finish with a point that will even annoy everyone else even more. And it's because Mark asked something earlier on as well, and I really, really like McVay, and I know he can't call a game in the end of the half, but I want to talk about some of the things the Rams do that I think the Eagles could learn from. And also, like, Mark made a really good comment, like, well, why does this condensed stuff work? And it's about specific teams doing it. So I'm only going to show one play. I just want to, I'll show two. Firstly, show play 7. Play 7. What the Rams do is they sequence things, which is what I haven't seen yet the Eagles do properly this year. So I've already mentioned they love blocking through the C-gap with Nakua. They love running wide receiver reverses. They love bringing Nakua to seal the edge. They love him being, this is I know he doesn't actually block this very well. It's probably his worst block of the day. But can you imagine the Eagles doing this with one of their receivers? It just doesn't. They don't have that player. I think Nakua is the most schematically versatile receiver on the planet because no one does what he does in the blocking game. Like, he's a complete freak. And you know what? I give a lot of credit to Adoree Jackson and Makuba here for blowing it up. But you've seen that play, right? Then I want you to go to... And this is why I talk about where condensed can be good and also where they scheme things very well. Compare play 9. Compare this, I spoke about the minor details to what we get from the Eagles. So, first of all, it looks the same as every other play does. Under center, they all look very similar. They bring the Nakua in like they do quite a lot. Okay, if you just go back a second, Shane, and just pause it before. Firstly, he's in the C-gap and he stops. So the Eagles then think, right, he's going to be there. Then they pass it off very quickly. What have they run a lot of the time? These reverses, these screens. Watch the defense flow to Nakua because the defense knows Nakua is a threat. Watch Bourne, watch Campbell. There's just a flow. It's actually not Bourne. Bourne as always reads it perfectly. But I think it's Blankenship who flows to the right. Then what they do is, well, why are they in condensed sets? Remember we said about 88 earlier on? Him next to Nakua to throw a block? He's just going to run a hitch. So he's going to run. But look what he does. It's a very clever hitch.
3 guys.
It's not pass interference, but it's close. And that is the perfect match of, it looks like your same running offense. You use the receiver the same way you're doing the run game. You use motion for a real reason. You think the ball's going to the Nakua and Adams side. It's just really, really good offense. And sometimes I don't blame DeJean on that. There's nothing you can do. Almost nothing you can do as a defense. That is just high quality offensive scheme, shall we say. And why then people say, well, the Eagles win. Why do you like McVay? The Eagles win because they're significantly better. They've got better players. Unfortunately for the Rams, McVay is crap in situations like this. But I'm talking about from a design point of view. The design is so much better. Guys are open. And yeah, you're going to show the C-gap. This is so good. By the way, if Jalen Hurts misses this on, what's his third down? We'll go mad. They're using the same thing they saw earlier on for the Nakua in the C-gap, and this time he releases. I love doing the Rams preview because I basically just sat there geeking out on how good this offense is. As I said, McVay is awesome. If he had any sense of game management, any sense of common sense in these high level situations, he'd be unbelievable. And that's all on Stafford. Just quickly, Shane, one final thing, and then we will finish in an hour. We will get out straight away. Go back to the play I just want to show, play 9. What I love about this play even more is watch Zach Bourne. I think it's Zach Bourne. I'm pretty sure he completely leaves his linebacker, his tight end where he's nearing coverage because he recognizes this instantly. Is it who's the guy next to DeJean? That is Zach Bourne, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch him. He literally recognizes this instantly. He completely leaves his zone. He's so good. He's like, I know what it is. I know what it is. He's read it there. He's read it. You can't ask him to do any more. Sadly, Adore Jackson and DeJean don't have his instincts, but I love it because I'm pretty sure he totally leaves his man wide open and is just like, I know what it is. You can see him jog off the pitch like, I knew it. Just really good. You sometimes can't stop the opposition, Shane, when they do things this good. And so hopefully, Mark, that answers your question of like why you run condensed. You run it with a purpose. The Eagles don't run it for a purpose. I'm convinced they run it because they see other teams doing it and think, oh, that looks good. We'll do that. That's not how offense works. You don't just pick something because other teams do it. You do what fits your personnel. We don't have Puka Nacua. We don't have the under-center run game they do. So it doesn't suit us the same way.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So there you have it, folks. Our thoughts on the offense, on the defense from the game. And we got it done in under an hour. I don't know. Somebody made a comment at the beginning that 254 is the new 1030. Just like 75 to 90 minute videos are the new 60-minute videos. We did it. We got it under 60 minutes. And I think we got a good sampling of this stuff. I think there's some things to like, but honestly, a lot of what there was to like, I thought was just offensively getting outside the numbers and A.J. Brown, and defensively. I mean, I liked some things. I liked more on the defense than I didn't like. Just some predictability, and ultimately that last drive left a bad taste in my mouth. All right. Well, Jonny, any final thoughts that you want to leave the people with before we get out of here?
Join the Patreon. The player spotlights and the previews are really good fun. You got Shane's QB passing game review every week, and you have an unbelievable Discord that if you join, you will never go back to Twitter ever again because it's just smart people talking football. There's some good disagreements. We have some conversations, but it's all done respectfully. And it's done intelligently. People don't just say things for the sake of saying things. So one of them posted a screenshot of the Reddit earlier on about like bringing back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. It was just so like hot takey. And I was like, that's why I'm not there anymore. And that's why we run with Discord. So if you're not there, try it out for a month. Do it during the season and then cancel in January. Even if you don't want to support us all year round, we get it. That's fine. Just try it out and we think you will love it. And now end the pod, Shane, because I'm watching the clock tick. Get out of here in 60. Let's do it.
We'll see if I can do it. Now, thank you guys for joining us for this episode. Those of you that are the Patreon supporters, we really appreciate you guys. I'm planning to have that past game review out either tonight or tomorrow sometime. Schedule is wonky this week. But those of you that are not in the Patreon, come try it for a week. You can grab a free week trial of any tier. Stick around, ask us some questions. But if that's not your thing at all, we really appreciate you guys hanging out and supporting us here. And we will catch you guys next time for another episode of On the Shane Page. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. And this one is specifically for new customers who can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus over $200 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PINPULL. That's code PINPULL to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bet expires 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto-renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.